Hey, also, this is a video on the human design graphs for particular events. And in particular, here I want to do probably the most evident event itself is the transmission of human design itself to Ibiza, Spain, where Ra received the transmission of it. What he claims is that there were many spots on the earth that were hit by these crystals of consciousness that were transmitted through the supernova at this time. And this is 1987, February 20, I have February 26 on this particular graph. And if you look, no, 23rd, February 23rd, 1987, I have sometime in the evening, Ra Uru Hu's story, which is on YouTube, which is under the voice, pretty easy to find. He notes, I think, that it was evening time, that he came home and actually saw, or actually didn't see anything, but saw a light inside where he was living, this little kind of ramshackle barn or a friend's place that he was staying at. And he had this dog that was with him, and he saw a light inside, and he opened the door, and as he went in, he says the dog passed out, and he like lost all this water in his body and started hearing this voice in his head. And I mean, he describes it, it's madness, he said. So this is the foundation of the moment when he received the transmission. And so I'm going to put up the chart, and I'm going to go over it a little. I'm going to be doing some influenced from Jason Bashir's work on archaics. So I'm going to be doing some vids on my exploration of the other charts, which are the Phoenix chart for 2040 May 16, and then I'm going to do the Nemesis X chart for 2046 November 1st and 2nd. And then if Jason's able to, or if someone's able to go through the notes and find a particular date, I will also do 2052 for the dark satellite. So today I think I'm just going to start and just do this one chart so we have some foundation for analyzing events through human design. Now, in one of Ra's early books on human design, I don't think this one that was too sold widely. I think it was mostly part of the teaching of human design programs. He describes the chart, the voice, and I don't have that anymore. Maybe I do and I can't find it, but I'm going to go over that now. So let me bring that up. So again, what this is the human design graph, and most of the websites don't allow for event charts. I mean, so I just named it Supernova 1877A, which is how it's described. And so what it comes out to is a manifesting generator chart. Again, this is not really a person, a human design per se. It's an event design in the system of human design. So here we have the chart. Now, I did it for Ibiza, Spain, because he was in Spain at the time. And when he got the transmission, I did it for evening time. So this is the chart that came up. I knew there were some variations throughout the day. I knew this was closer to the original chart of what was going on because it has the channel of transmission. So if you look on the graph and you look to the center, you see the yellow diamond shape, which is the G center, the direction center. You'll see that's connected downwards to the right, 2551. That channel there is really important. That's the channel of initiation. And it's the channel walking between the worlds of being able to go to the other world and come back with information. Ra had that in his original manifesto, Human Design, and he had the Genius Freak channel as well, which is the 2343 from the throat, but we're not going over that now. And then you see from that little, on the right-hand side, your right, that little red triangle, that's the ego center. and that kind of shoots straight down to the splenic center, which is on the left, and it's kind of brownish colored. Ra didn't remember the reasons for the colors. He had burned his original writings and then later tried to recollect it all and write it up again. He was probably very disturbed from this experience. So you can see that. So again, that channel, that's the 2644 from the ego center to the spleen. That's the channel of transmission. We also see the channel talent on the left from the throat center down to the spleen, and that's 1648. Now, and then the final channel, we have the 5027, which is about the tribe, the need to make deals in the tribe and have physical touch and connection. But the main channels I want to focus on are going to be the 2551 and the 4426. What my sense of it is, and I think Ra talked a little about, especially underscoring the channel transmission, is this was where what the planets were activating during the time of his transmission of his experience. And the most potent planetary placements are really here in this chart. I mean, in the 4426, in the channel transmission, we have Pluto in the 44th gate. And we're looking at the personality side. So we're looking again at the right-hand side, not necessarily at the red. The red is 3 months prior, but human design always records the 88 degrees sun solar arc 3 months prior, because it creates the two charts for a human being, one for the spirit 3 months before, one for the moment of birth, BERTH. So what we have here in this chart really is the 4426 is black because it's Pluto on the personality side in the moment. Now, that same gate was activated 3 months prior, but it was in a different line. It was in line 1. And you could see that when you look at the bottom, go to the glyphs, go to the bottom, and you see that P. That's the glyph for Pluto. And then all the glyphs are there. The only things that'll be unrecognizable to astrologers is the one underneath the sun, which is the earth symbol. So it's a circle with a cross. But what we have on each side is, well, I'll go over one. The first glyph, the circle and the dot, is the sun. The second is the earth. The sickle shaped is the moon. The horseshoes are the north and south nodes. Then we have Mercury, Venus, Mars, Jupiter, Saturn, Uranus, Neptune, and Pluto. So the activation from the 44 is Pluto. On the other side, the activation is Saturn. And you could see that when you look at the glyphs. So that activation for the channel transmission, very powerful in terms of Ra actually getting the information. He claimed that the neutrinos, the crystals, or however he was describing it, I can't remember, happened in many different places across the planet. What he said was not everyone got the transmission clearly. So he even noted that some people were fried, and true enough, some people actually wrote and later on and said that people they'd known, like, after this experience, they could only eat drinking out of straws. Stories like that, horrible stories where people really got their brains scrambled and fried, like eggs, like experiencing some of the neutrinos wherever area they were located. But Ra seemed to get a transmission where it didn't really fry him. Like, he actually survived the experience and talked about going to look at the sun after the 7 days. Staring at the sun afterwards is what the voice told him to do. Fascinating stuff. So this is the graph for the birth of human design. I don't know if it's exact. Maybe hopefully it's pretty close. I remember him talking about these two main channels. The 2551 I'll talk about a little more. That's the channel of initiation. It's a very powerful channel of shock. Indeed, his experience was one of shock. And depending on the lines, there needs to be recovery for such shocks. In this circumstance, we have The 51 is actually on the design side, and that's in the North Node. So the North Node, 3 months prior to this incident, was in Aries. I know that is an Aries gate. And the other side is in the 25th gate. That's going to be Jupiter on the personality side. So that was in black. That's at the moment. So we have Jupiter and the North Node activating the channel of initiation. It's also in human archetype, it's the channel, the priest or the priestess, one who initiates others. Very powerful channel. I think these are two of the most powerful human design channels in terms of information being transmitted and humans initiating themselves to other realms of consciousness. So here we have it. I'll leave it at that. Questions, comments, you guys can put down below. And yeah, I don't think I have anything else. Thanks for watching.